This video is in part on the fate of Wayne Williams. Wayne Williams was the security guard at Regional West Medical Center in Scottsbluff. He spoke with me after the assault there by a man named Ruben, who works there. This is because when I was trying to make a report about the police and their actions, the police here in Chapel, Nebraska, or Sheriff's Department, my apologies, were pretty well entrenched in covering the wrongdoing of their own officers, to the point that they outright lied to Jen Beebe. They claimed that I had attempted to suicide by cop and had reached for one of their firearms. This is an outright lie. Because of this, I was sent to Scottsbluff, well out of jurisdiction, and prevented from making a report because I was out of jurisdiction. This is following the harassment and bullshit by Rochelle Shelley Campbell and her friend, Kara Johnson Miles. She has a different name now. Many of these internet wingnuts, they change their names often. These people stuck their nose where it didn't belong. The stories that I speak of, these are stories where I didn't stick my nose where it didn't belong. People used my good nature in order to draw me into things that weren't my business to begin with, but because of my good nature, I wanted to help them. Wayne Williams, he was kind of torn between helping me and keeping his job, and obviously he's going to choose to keep his job. He told me that he hated doing what he had to do when I left the hospital there. I found out this trip around that Wayne Williams committed suicide in Afghanistan after being redeployed. There's a lot of people that should have come forward. With Jamie Curtis, the things that I had to deal with. See, that's the thing about a pretty face, is that people will do a lot of really evil things over a pretty face, and there are women like Jamie Curtis who know this, who know how to manipulate these people. That didn't work with me, though. As much as she wanted it to, it didn't work with me. The reason for that is because I cared more about her son than I care about her, by a lot. She should have never used her son to manipulate me. But the other thing is, if you go back and you look at the conversation between James and I, you notice that he admitted, at least in part, to many of the things that Jamie was wanting to hide and pretend about. This is what happens when you have no family who cares. My dad had expectations of how it all worked, things that he had never gone through. Jamie, same thing. All of you did. Candace Bondurant, she hid behind her children and behind her mother when she did not keep her word. When she went out of her way to destroy any chance that I had of being able to defend myself, showing evidence. I have to lie about wanting to die because instead of helping me with the reasons that I want to die, I get punished for wanting to die. I get forced into institutions and have drugs forced into me. I get treated like I'm, schizophrenic. They use words, when you try to turn in police officers, The medical community wants to automatically assume that because they're police officers that they're right. And when you try to tell on them, the medical community isn't going to look at the evidence. They're not even going to try. That evidence was robbed from me every single time. The medical community won't look at the things that were done to me. That's not their job. That's the police's job. But the police use the fact that I'm suicidal and want my life to end as their excuse for not looking. Well, we're not a medical doctor. That has to go through the medical community. Fuck you, you fucking cowards. You're pieces of shit, every goddamn one of you. Everything that I had was taken from me. I had to defend myself in unconventional ways because law enforcement here in Chapel, Nebraska and abroad refused to do their jobs. When you try to turn in police officers for allowing these things to happen, they harm you. Every time that I broke the law, every single time that I broke the law, it was to force it to be documented. To force it to be documented that I was trying. That I did everything that I could before breaking the law to try to show what was going on. This happened with many other people too, but the difference is those people weren't accused of stalking, raping, or murdering people. They weren't accused of child molestation. The fact is, nobody was willing to challenge that in court. Nobody was willing to take me to court. They wanted to slander my name, but not say it in court. Except for Ted Bollinger at Joseph Michael Lopez court date. After that court date, that Kara Johnson Miles woman pretended like she was interested in helping, that Miss Shelley was concerned for me. But then, when Shannon Alvarado exposed this woman as a liar and showed me that this entire time that she was pretending like she was trying to help, her and Shelley both, that actually she was trash-talking me in these Natalie Bollinger groups. Places where I wasn't allowed to defend myself. I wasn't allowed to defend myself to the public. I wasn't allowed to defend myself in court. I wasn't allowed to make a police report. And I can't say that I want my life to be over, because then I will be punished further. I want my life to be over for a reason. Because nobody, not one person, stood in my corner with me. Not one. All of these people are cowards. They made empty promises and didn't keep their word. The police did everything in their power to destroy evidence, to not look at evidence. And without somebody in my corner who actually gave a shit to take a look, well, it's just their word versus mine. They didn't record things that they should have recorded. Every single interaction that I had with the police should have been recorded. My safety should have been guaranteed so that I could file a report without being abused. Your fucking country is disgusting. Wayne, after he spoke with me about suicide, about how I just need to keep fighting, did he continue fighting? Fuck no, he went to a foreign country and blew his own goddamn head off.